results in Week 8 to factor in, including the Bucs loss to the Saints, Pack taking down the undefeated Cardinals, and Mike White's rise to NFL stardom. Will it be enough to get the Jets out of the tier basement? Nick, take us through your NFL tiers entering Week 9.
Yeah, first a note on the committee. The committee had a meeting before the meeting for the tiers to talk about getting back to basics, getting back to what made the committee's tiers the most prestigious NFL ranking system in the world. Because the committee the last few weeks has been a little too reactionary. That's why there's been such upheaval at the top of the tiers. The committee was not prepared for having to alter the tiers. They assumed the Chiefs would be there the whole year, but the committee got back to basics, and now we have our best edition of the tiers yet. Reveal the very bottom. We have a legitimate race for the worst team in football. And every week there's a new leader. It's like the Lions have no wins, but they actually are competitive. Nope. Texans, Jags, Lions are all just disasters. That top line there, all of those teams are still alive, kind of, but all of them also need to basically win 3 of their next 4. All right, now let's talk about some teams that really matter to a degree. We'll show you the next couple groupings as they are, and we will start with, is it there? Can we reveal it? Are we going to reveal it? There we go. Thank you. 500 for now. Those 3 teams, they're all losing this week. They're all 4-4. They're all losing this week, guaranteed. Legacy line. These teams aren't very good, but it's like you trust Russ, you trust Belichick, you trust Shanahan, you trust Tomlin. So even though none of them are, they probably deserve to be a drop lower, all of them, but because the Niners just made a Super Bowl, the Seahawks and Steelers have Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and the Patriots have the best coach ever, they still instill some fear in you. These 3 teams right there, second half swoon. They are all 5-2 or 6-2. But the Titans and Saints just suffered devastating injuries. The Raiders obviously had the terrible issue with Gruden. Now the horrifying issue with Henry Ruggs, who they had to release. You feel like all 3 of those teams are about to plummet over the next month. Okay, now we get to teams that could be there at the end of the season. But AFC, get it together, guys. Bengals, you fall down 14 points to the Jets, then you end up having an 11-point fourth quarter lead, you lose anyway. The Ravens get blown out when they were playing their best football. The Chargers playing their best football until they play 2 just inexplicably bad games. And the Chiefs still right there, but have an opportunity to dominate the Giants, can't do it. One of these teams, maybe 2 of them, at least one of them, is going to be in the AFC Championship game. None of them make sense right now. All right, next group. Now we're getting to the real cream of the crop of the NFL. Super Bowl or bust. These teams are all in. The Rams, it's obvious. The Bucs have a 44-year-old quarterback, brought everyone back from their Super Bowl championship. The Bills, their Super Bowl window is open past this year. The reason they're on Super Bowl or bust is, you could argue, the AFC is never going to be more winnable than it is right now. Their path to a 1 seed is never going to be better than it is right now. If they don't get to a Super Bowl this year, it's going to be very hard for them to get there in the next couple of years.
Agreed,
now our number
Nick.
1 contenders. These 2 teams played on Thursday night. They played not quite to a draw. The Packers deserved the victory. However, obviously, if A.J. Green turns around, maybe they win the game. It's very hard to say one team's considerably better than the other. They both have great wins. The Packers have a win over the Cardinals, great win over the Bengals. The Cardinals, meanwhile, beat the Rams badly, beat the Titans at full strength badly. They deserve to be there. And the favorites. We never should have dropped the Cowboys. The Cowboys were the favorites.
Thank you very much.
And then we dropped them because they
deserve.
won a game. It was against the Patriots. The committee, in fairness, probably a touch underrated the Patriots. The Cowboys deserve to stay current favorites a month ago. We dropped them erroneously. They just got a great win with Cooper Rush as their quarterback. They are going to be a guaranteed 8-1 heading into Kansas City in a few weeks. So there it is. There's the top of the tiers. Broussard, I know what your natural inclination is. It's to try to rip them because I eviscerated the Bud list last week. But you are also an honest man. You can say it. It's a perfect set of tiers. It's a perfect set of tiers.
All right. Here's where I'm going to go, Nick. All right, I don't buy for 1 minute that gibberish about the committee. I think you guys sit around, eat chicken wings, and throw junk at the wall and see what sticks. All right, I think that's how we come to this.
Eat
That
chicken
said,
wings.
that said, this is a decent list. Not perfect, as you said, but this is some of your best work. I will give you that. I know it's not saying a ton, but I'll give you some of your best work. I figured it'd be Dallas. I figured Dallas would be at the top because they were the only team of your top 3 last week that didn't lose. So that makes sense. They're at the number 1. And let's face it, the tiers, the last several weeks, they've been kind of mangled, right? Not really tiers, not a pyramid, more like a Jenga game gone awry. All right. So if that's the case, I'd love to see the Rams moved up to a number 1 contender because I think they belong there with Green Bay and Arizona.
I think we're going to see another Super Bowl rematch, Cowboys and Bills.
Okay,
we
if
already
you
know who's
must
going to win
have
that
2
one.
at the number 1,
History
then let's at
repeats
least
itself.
move the Rams over in the 4th spot and switch them with the Bills, who I think should be 6th behind Tampa Bay.
We don't do left to right.
All right. Well,
I've told you this before.
Well, a committee member secretly told me, but okay,
That's right, Nick.
Okay. All right, whatever. To my real beef. Not surprisingly, Nick, it involves the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, can we get there? Yeah, there. You know that right now, at this very moment, there is no way they should be on the 4th tier. And you know this, Nick. You're very much aware of it, and so is every member of the committee. And what you guys do to justify it is you come up with a name for the tier that fits the Chiefs. So you overrank them because they're not in the 4th tier, but you come up with the perfect name. Get it together, guys. And now that's how you justify having them on the 4th tier. So yeah, you're right. They do need to get it together, but they in the real world, Nick, they should be down 2 tiers. Can we see it? Number in the 6th level, next to Wilds is Patriots.
Okay, I kind of see that
That's where
too.
they should be on the 6th tier.
I kind of
That's
see that
my
too.
only beef.
I mean, they're not
But
playing
again,
the best ball right now.
this is some of your better work. Yeah, right there, nudged
Losing
in
to teams that they
between
shouldn't be
the
losing to.
Patriots and the Niners should be the Chiefs. Right now, at this point.
Sure. Okay, that's obviously not true.
Yeah, I kind of agree right there.
And when you said your issue was with the Chiefs, I thought the issue was gonna be you've got the Chiefs, who are obviously on the upswing, having just gotten a huge nationally televised win, next to 3 teams that have all just suffered 3 awful losses. The Ravens get blown out. The Bengals lose to the Jets. The Chargers lose 2 in a row, including down double digits in the 4th quarter to Mac Jones and the Patriots. The Chiefs, by the way, have 4 wins, the same as the Chargers, just 1 back of the Bengals and Ravens. So if anything, you're right. The Chiefs don't belong with them because the Chiefs are, in fact, getting it together. While the Bengals, Ravens, and Chargers are, they're all,
but
if
they're
you
not
look at the standings, and we're not standings guys, but if you look at them, on streak, the Chiefs have W1, while the Bengals and Ravens have L1, and the Chargers have L2, meaning they've lost 2 in a row. So it's just something to consider. I mean, it's just the facts. Wild seems a little perplexed. He's shaking his head. I'm not sure what the issue is, but I hope that answers your questions, Broussard. What's up, Wilds?
Well, just one note on the Chiefs. I don't know if you're talking about that they're playing better because you're in one of those like reverse fantasy leagues where you have to like draft the terrible quarterbacks and you get points for interceptions. In that case, like the Chiefs are doing well, but otherwise, it's both the Chiefs standing and Jackson's TikToks have been on a downward slope. I would like to add a team here. I'd have to add a full tier because I don't know where to put this team. It's the New Orleans Saints, because they don't belong in Get It Together because they have it together, and they're not quite Super Bowl or bust. It's almost like they should be, hold on, are you excellent? They're 5-2, same record as the Bills, and we talk about the Bills going to the Super Bowl. We don't talk about the Saints, but we probably should for these 3 reasons. Reason number 1, that defense, I'm like, yeah, that defense is okay. All right, is that defense the best in the league? I think so. They're the number 1 scoring defense, points per game, giving up the fewest points per game in the last calendar year. This is a dusty stat. The last calendar year. They are number 1 in points. The yards per game, they're number 1. So this idea that they're okay is wrong. They are the best. Reason number 2, I know you're like, well, Wild, there's no quarterback there. You got Trevor Siemian.
Yeah.
You got you lost Jameis. Here's a take. You didn't have a quarterback last year. It's not the nicest thing to say in the world, but it's true. What you got is Sean Payton. And Sean Payton makes every quarterback viable. If we can show the statistics on what quarterbacks have done under Sean Payton and without Sean Payton. Well, bottom up, Taysom's 3-1, Teddy B was 5-1, Jameis was 5-2. It all works because of Sean Payton. Reason number 3. While people think they're getting worse because of Jameis' injury, they might actually be getting better. But Ingram's back, a little bit of magic. And we got Michael Thomas coming back soon off of his Scottie Pippen-esque delayed surgery. Well, guess what happened when Scottie Pippen came back to the Bulls? They ran off a bunch of wins. Michael was very happy, and they ended up